What's up, my friends? Welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we're going to talk about if we are even excited for new GPUs. To be completely honest with you guys, this happens every 2 years, obviously. You know, you get into the PC space, you're going to get new hardware every 2 years. And, you know, for the most part, there usually is like a point where you are excited. You're excited, you know, you got new tech coming out, you usually get more power. But right now, guys, like, I don't necessarily think that we are needing more power. But first of all, thank you guys for listening to me ramble. I don't necessarily think we need more power. We definitely need better optimization for games. And you know, like I said in the last couple of videos, I feel like both AMD and Nvidia are pretty much just toeing the line this time. Obviously, you know, the 5090 will slot in, definitely more powerful than a 4090. Your 4090 power is gonna, you know, give or take, kind of move down to that 5080. And then, you know, it's just gonna kind of reshuffle the deck. Obviously, I think they're gonna rely a lot heavier on software updates for these GPUs and maybe a little bit more on, like, obviously, you know, switching to a different node, stuff like that. Definitely going to bring that down. But the thing with Nvidia, guys, you know, running 16 gigabytes on a 5080 still, obviously that clearly gives them more room for a 5080 Ti, a 5080 Super, whatever. That clearly gives them enough room to improve that card and soak you for more money a little bit later, you know, probably within a year or so. They come out with a 5080 Ti or something, and they throw in a lot more memory, like they double it or they go up to 24 gigs or whatever. Say they go up to 24 gigs, and then, you know, they come in with a lot higher price. They give you like 15,000 CUDA cores instead of just the 10 or something. You know, they beef it up really good, and then they repackage that and sell it to you to get more money out of you and kind of make you feel like, oh man, I should have waited. But, you know, that's kind of the Nvidia thing. Like, if you've been around the block for a while, I mean, if this isn't your first rodeo, and you've bought a few GPUs before, if you've been through, you know, a cycle or two, you know, in the PC space, you kind of see a pattern with Nvidia and how they do things, how they run things. And, you know, I keep getting a lot of pushback from a few people in the community, trying to say I don't know how what is it, like memory speed and stuff like that works, because I'm always going on and on about a wider bus and stuff like that. Look, guys, the majority of the games out there, and this is why I say we really don't necessarily need more power right now. We absolutely need better optimization of the games, because, like, right now, guys, for the most part, yeah, most games are going to run perfectly fine on a 256-bit bus. Clearly, you've got PS5 Pro and PS5 that are still running on a 256-bit bus. But then you look at Xbox, they're running on a 320-bit bus. You've got other cards that, you know, range from 320 up to 384 right now. And that wider bus width, okay? And this is why I will always prefer a wider bus width over a smaller bus width with faster memory. You just have more throughput. Like, it's going to be better in the long run. You'll see that the 7900 XTX is going to continue to perform well into the future, especially because I like to play a lot of open world games. Those require a lot more throughput. And if they actually start bringing out, like, higher quality, you know, like textures or something like that, you don't want to be caught in the middle of a generation with a card that's not going to do its very best to run everything. And that's why, like, a 4080 Super, I mean, it was a great card and it performed well. But I don't want to be in the middle of somewhere and not have what I need to run a game that I want to run. I mean, I can always drop down to 1440p, you know, on a 4080 Super and probably be just fine. But you buy that card and you spend that much money on it, and you want that to be a 4K card. Like, you invest that money, you do that research, and you're like, yeah, this is the one for me. This one's going to be great. And then you find out a little bit later that a game like Indiana Jones will come out and it will not work. You got Indiana Jones now. Okay, you got Doom freaking Doom Dark Ages coming out, and that's going to be running on id Tech as well. And then whatever else games are coming out on id Tech that are going to be, you see where I'm going with this? There are going to be games that are going to stress that 256-bit bus and that 16 gigs of VRAM, and they're going to be good games. They're not going to be your average run-of-the-mill freaking everybody can throw on a freaking, Unreal Engine 5 game. No, these are going to be games that are crafted on like you got Remedy, that uses their own proprietary engine, the Northlight engine, and you see how that runs, with path tracing and all of that stuff. And then you've got obviously like Capcom running the RE engine. You've got, id Tech, from Bethesda, they're running id Tech or the Creation engine. You got these different engines that are going to be performing differently than your run-of-the-mill Unreal Engine 5 or Unreal Engine 4 or your what's the other one that they use? That Unity engine. So you've got other different proprietary engines out there on the market right now that are being upgraded, and they're being, they're not going to be, some of them might not be as efficient. So you got to kind of plan ahead for some of this stuff when you're thinking about your GPU choice and what you're trying to get out of it and what you're trying to do. If you're chasing 4K, this is what I say, man. If you're chasing 4K, you're gonna be constantly needing to upgrade, or you're gonna be lowering your settings or something like that. But if you're chasing 1440p, man, there's such a freaking wide selection of 1440p GPUs right now. Like literally everything coming out is gonna be a 1440p freaking powerhouse easily. You're gonna be able to get either a 60 FPS experience, or you're going to get a high refresh experience on 1440p. 1440p is where it's at. I love 1440p. I'm just grateful that a lot of these GPUs can actually do 4K. But if you think about it, guys, we don't really necessarily need a whole lot more power right now. What we need right now is better optimization and kind of a standard. Like, okay, this is what games are going to run at with ray tracing. We want, our top end cards to be able to give you the full experience. That's what I want to see from developers. Yes, I get that some people out there say, yeah, I want the game to max out my GPU and stuff like that. Guys, before that, I could see that, when it was like rasterization or, like tessellation or something like that. Something like that there was easily, going to be an endpoint to where that technology was going to run well. With things like path tracing, they can just increase the bounce of how many bounces that path tracing does, or the rays, or something like that, and completely cripple your card. So we need to have okay, 3 bounce max. That right now for obviously, because hardware is just not going to go any better than that for a while, and you're literally just going to be throwing money away if you're chasing that. So yeah, I think we kind of need like an industry standard right now for what type of ray tracing, how much ray tracing, just because I feel like they could easily keep taking advantage of, I say this so they're not taking advantage of us gamers, and we're actually getting to utilize and use the tech that we're buying today well into the future. Because if prices are going to continue to go up, we need to be able to feel secure that when we spend $1,000 on a GPU, we get more than 2 years. We need 4 years, we need 5 years, and we need that 5 years to be a good gaming experience, to the point where like we get into the 3rd generation, halfway through the 3rd generation, we start to see that like, oh gosh, dude, we're dropping to 1440p. We're going from 4K, we're dropping to 1440p to maintain the same performance levels that we've got. Then we're like, okay, now we need to decide, are we gonna go through another year with this performance level, or are we gonna upgrade so that we can get back to our 4K at our performance level that we prefer? Yes, I do think that $1,000 GPU should give you 5 years. I do. I feel like you should get, 4 or 5 years of a set performance before actually needing to upgrade, especially if you're getting something in the high end. Like, yeah, you need more, you need more time with that. So when it comes to these new GPUs, man, like I don't I am excited, but I mean, I'm excited for a different reason, because I'm essentially downgrading back down to a mid-range GPU so that I can be a lot closer to the community and, you know, kind of just have that experience where, you know, I've got my 9070 XT. When I got to take that out, put back in the 7900 XTX, I can do that, and I can be able to like give you guys like an accurate, you know, at least be where you're at, or where the majority of the gaming community is, to be able to give you guys better solid buying advice. Because I really did love that 7800 XT that I had. I thought that was a great card, and it performed very well on 1440p. I didn't really run into a whole lot of issues with that card. I thought that was pretty decent. So yeah, I mean, if the mid-range is gonna move down, you know, like a 7900 XT power or whatever, that is pretty good. Like, I think that I could easily live with that for a while, and I think that a lot of the people out there would probably be very happy with a card like that. I mean, I think so anyway. So yeah, guys, I'm excited about this. I'm excited about this generation, but I do think that this generation is definitely going to be more of a generation where we are getting more of that. I feel like this generation is going to be a generation where they're going to really try to increase performance and power savings and stuff like that through software. So I don't know if I would expect like massive gains hardware wise, but I would definitely expect to see, you know, some pretty decent gains when it comes to the software, like ray tracing and, you know, upscaling, stuff like that. So, all right, my friends, if you like this content, do not forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.
They spotted me.
Kata yacht.
That's another Essence Shrine. Bet there's something. Let's do this again. They're on me. Gotta collect them all.